This is a weapon. This is a gun. This is for warfare. This is for fun. Yes, I like guns. When I was young, I threw a lot of money downrange. Figure it was about a quarter a round. I used to shoot in pistol competitions, NMSTA and NRA sanctioned events. Not saying I was any good. I did, however, qualify as an expert with a .45 in the Army. There, doesn't that give me some right-wing street cred? That's what right-wing politicians do. They come out and say they're hunters, they're sportsmen, and they support our Second Amendment rights. Well, so do I. But I'm going to assert something right here. The Second Amendment isn't about your right to go hunting. It's not even about your common sense right to self-defense. It's about your duty as a citizen to defend this nation against attack. I'm going to read the amendment precisely. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I think a little primer is in order here because, frankly, there's a lot of misinformation floating about, especially from the right-wingers. This is a Christian nation. Our Constitution come from the Bible. Okay, Eugenia, that's enough of that. First, understand that many of the founders opposed the idea of a standing federal army. They felt that a standing federal army would inevitably lead to oppression. Their ideas in this matter are made clear by Amendment number 3, and yes, Eugenia, there are other sections of the Constitution to consider. Amendment number 3. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. That was a big issue in those days. Forcing somebody to let a platoon of troops camp in his barn, that was definitely oppressive. And they didn't want any of that, you see. But these days, the federal government has found a way around that. They just asked the taxpayers to pony up for a $693 billion bill for the defense budget. No problem. But I digress. We were talking about misinformation. Almost any teabagger can quote this famous line from Thomas Jefferson, that the tree of liberty must be watered with the blood of tyrants and patriots. But I'll bet not 1 in 1,000 could even begin to cite the original source. They only know about it because it's standard fare on every right-wing propaganda page. They use it to justify this idea that we should rise up in arms anytime the federal government engages in tyrannical actions. And by tyrannical actions, I mean legislative actions that they disagree with. But if that's what the founders really meant, then I got to wonder about this other section here. Article 1, Section 8. Congress shall have the power to provide for the calling forth of the militia to execute laws of the Union, to suppress insurrections and repel invasions. So, if a gaggle of goons from a gun show want to get together at a great big retardo rally and intimidate duly elected officials just because they disagree with the outcomes of various legislative actions, I'd say that pretty well nullifies the rest of the Constitution. Why bother with all those other provisions about the legislative process and the courts and all that? Just let the armed mob decide. My friends, that is not democracy, nor even a Republican form of government. What it reminds me of, the Night of the Long Knives, where a bunch of Nazi thugs went around murdering their political rivals.